when I don't have to do the dishes. So that's the first thing I do. And I have to tell you, I hate to use the term old person because I are one, but usually when you do these afternoon dinners, they're actually lunches, but for the elderly, they're supper at 3 o'clock. They're sitting around there and they've just eaten. And you know, right in the middle of your line, there's 5 guys flatulating and just having a great old time. And they're just, so if you guys have that urge, just go ahead.
Oh, goodness.
This is not drinkable. It's going to be a long day, boys and girls.
Have we started the timer, by the way?
No, I wasn't quite sure on that.
Okay, you can start the timer. Every year at my birthday, I ask myself 2 questions. Am I satisfied with my life? And then, am I happy? Several years ago, I went back and I looked at that second question. And I realized that happy has to do with luck and chance. The word happiness comes from unexpected happenstance. The question I needed to ask myself is, are you joyful? Because joyfulness is a choice. Okay? I recommend having fun. We should enjoy every moment of our 1,440 minutes of every day and share that time with everyone. At times we are so focused on our journey, we don't notice the more important things, the more important gifts that life has to offer. We sometimes get so preoccupied with doing things that need to be done. We get so competitive. We forget that the most important thing is our connection with one another. And we also get to the point where we are driven with our career and our purpose. And we have to be reminded that in addition to a career, we have a calling. A career is what we get paid for. A calling is what we're made to do. We learn early that in the game of life, everybody gets fouled. And so we have to make our own sunshine and share it with everyone who touches our life. In spite of tough times and difficult days, we've got to forgive and pardon and let bygones be bygones and be magnificent to one another. That's the essence of a calling. Kindness, thoughtfulness, goodness, compassion, charity, love. I understood the fulfillment of that calling because I didn't listen. But heaven was generous with me, and I received a joyful lesson that changed my life. And I'm going to tell you about that lesson this evening. This all began because of the chores that I was assigned to do as a boy. And my mother taught me about doing the laundry. Every Monday night, after we did the supper dishes, I would be standing next to the Ringer Maytag washing machine in the basement. And there'd be 3 large wicker baskets full of soiled clothes. And my mother would sort according to washable whites, colors, underwear, outerwear. And then she'd select her detergent. Now my mother always told me, you have to use detergent when you do the laundry. A detergent is low suds. It's made with chemicals. Soap is bubbly. It's made with vegetable oils and animal fats. I was about 9, 10 years old, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't care. I used to watch my mom pour the soap in the old Maytag, hit the clutch, and then she'd watch the machine. She never used the machine with the lid on. She liked to be an observer, to watch Mr. Maytag get that agitated water going and get the dirt out of the clothes. We all have our cheap thrills, but that was hers. Years later, when I was 23 years of age, I was a college freshman, living in the first co-ed dormitory on campus at Indiana State University. There was a laundromat 2 blocks away with automatic washers and dryers for students to do their laundry. I could not see myself hauling my laundry 2 blocks there and back. There had to be a better way. One night I went on my little personal independent dormitory investigative search. And I came upon the basement utility room. Inside that room was a single laundry tub, a commercially sized, top-loading Whirlpool washing machine, and an electric dryer that the maintenance staff and the housekeepers used to wash their uniforms and their scrub rags and their towels. But the greatest discovery was it didn't take coins. The next night at 12:30 in the morning, in my bare feet, hauling my laundry, I quietly went downstairs to the utility room. Went inside, turned on the light, closed the door, opened the lid of that machine, and I put my jeans and my shorts and my underwear and my slacks in that machine. Time was of the essence. No sorting, no problem. As I looked at what I was doing, I finally realized I had no laundry detergent. But what I saw by the laundry tub was a large bottle of Joy dishwashing soap. I set the water temperature, I set the rinse cycle, the wash cycle, and I didn't exactly know how much to put in, so I emptied the container, shut the lid, and fired up that Whirlpool. Now then, it started to cook. Amid the hum of the electric motor, the sound of the agitated water, and the steamy humidity, the lid of the Whirlpool started to flutter. With each pulsating motion of the wet clothes, bubbles began oozing out underneath that lid. At first, a few clusters. A few seconds later, there was a kinetic eruption, and millions of soapy spheroids flooded the top of that machine. They ran over the edge, down the front of the machine, met the floor, got acquainted with my toes, encapsulated my feet, and I stood there, buddy. I mean, it was just marvelous. Holding on to the side of that Whirlpool, I was mesmerized by the sight and the sounds and the sensation and the vibration. My God, it was almost orgasmic. I was transfixed. From washing cycle to the rinsing cycle, the bubbles continued. By now, the utility room floor resembled a foamy carpet. And it was then that the eureka moment hit me. And I was aware of the gift that I had just received. The washer stopped. With trembling hands, I lifted the lid. And I looked in there. And I saw my jeans and my underwear and my khakis. They were all entwined in a bubble-rich, seductive embrace. And I knew, no matter how my life unfolded, from that moment on, I would never, ever be able to get the joy out of my pants.
We're not worthy, we're not worthy. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's a true story or not, Al, but I don't care. That's pretty awesome.